Hi, Mom. Uh, so my name is Tim Friesen. The project is an album called Songs from a Life, which basically comprises of 10 songs, 8 of which are written by myself, that span from 1987 to now. I'm doing this as a way to be able to lay in stone, lay in granite some of my life for people down the road to hear. My hope is that the words of these songs, when other people hear them, will go, wow, that sounds like me. I've had that problem, or I've wrestled with that, or I've thought about that. And so that people would be able to relate to the stuff I've gone through.
Well, it's an honor to be involved. The songs themselves, it's like, I think my dad's an amazing person. He's a kind and generous and loving person. And so for me to be able to help him express those things it's good. It's an honor. I'm glad I was able to be a part of it.
The project is something that frankly I never thought would be a reality. It takes a lot of money to do something like this, and I never really thought that I would be able to do that. And in fact, 10 years ago, we probably couldn't have done this. Social media has evolved so much. When I think that it costs about $5,000 for me to put this album together, it staggers me to think what it would cost if I had to pay everybody that has said, you know what, I care enough about this and about you that I'm going to do it for free. I've got 11 different musicians on the album, including background vocalists, and I haven't paid a dime for any of them. The amazing thing is I didn't have to sacrifice quality to do that. The musicians on this album are superb, and all these people have said, you know what, well, we want to do this because we know it's a dream of yours. And so that's an amazing gift to me that they've given me, all the time they've spent and their talents that they've grown. And then to be able to have on the final track of the album, A New Hallelujah, to have all these former choir members and current choir members and friends and family and people from my church all come together in this choir of about 155 or 160 people and do all the background vocals for that last song. Cool way to end the album, with all these people that have been a part of my life coming together all in one song at the end. Really, really amazing to me.
Let the song arise.
Keep running it?
Yep, 2, 3. Arise. Somebody was early. 1 and 2 and 3. Arise. Good, now do that every time. 1, 2, and. Arise.
Come alive. Let the song arise.
1, 2, 3, and. There you go, all right? Okay.
When I write about a lot of different things. But it always seems to come full circle back to who gave me the gifts. And I honestly believe that any gifts that I have, as meager as they are gifts that God gave me to use.
I mean, I think that music is something that affects 99% of the populace. I think music is one of the first things that, like, as a species, set us apart from the rest of the planet. And I think that, on top of that, it's one of the first ways that we connected to the divine. And so, like, I think the fact that we were, like, spiritual as a family and musical as a family, I mean, they kind of just helped each other out until, everybody was doing it.
Back in early October, I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep. And that happens to me often because I'm so busy that frankly the only time I'm still enough for God to talk to me is in the middle of the night sometimes. And so that night I got up and I came out here, got my box of songs that I'd written, and I went over to the piano here, and I put my headphones on so I wouldn't wake my wife up, and I played for about an hour and a half, all of my stuff. And so sometimes when I can't go back to sleep, it's because I'm supposed to do something. And that's happened a lot since that night in October, but for good reasons. Some of it might be, gee, I wonder if we're able to raise the money. I wonder if it's going to come together. I'm worried about the production aspects. And at that point in time, I felt like God was saying, okay, finally, now's the time. Now's the time for you to pursue this project and make it a reality. or at least to do it right. And so Chris and myself and Matt Ferris, a good friend of mine who's a phenomenal drummer, the three of us started to rehearse in middle of January into February, and then we went into the studio middle of February and started the process.
Do it again, same thing. You want to... Jeez. Ah, it's got freaking fire. Start again. I can't make a mistake that soon into it and keep going. Bunch of lousy minions.
I elected to use somebody that I trusted, so I asked Neil. In fact, Neil is another former student of Molalla High School. Last year, way before I ever thought this would be a reality, he says, look, sometime we need to work together. He said, sometime you need to make an album. And I kind of, yeah, right, sometime that'll happen. And then it did, and so I went to him and talked to him, and after we did our initial stuff at Supernatural Studios in Oregon City, we took everything else and we've been doing it in Neil's studio there in Milano. No, I'm just really looking forward to our opening concert and just the fun that's going to be able to put out, live everything that we've done in the studio for people to be able to hear. It's going to be cool.